Alright, you guys, so I was just editing this and I just wanted to apologize in advance for the quality of this video and the audio, the lighting, everything. But I had some requests for this, so I do hope that you all enjoy. Alright, you guys, so for this video I'm using parsley, basil pesto, garlic, grape tomatoes, heavy whipping cream, a Parmesan block, about a stick and a half of butter, some fresh mozzarella slices, yeast rolls, and raw shrimp, as well as some olive oil, salt, and pepper, which I forgot to include, and sour cream.
And now I'm just going to rinse off my tomatoes, and then I'm going to pop these in the oven. For your sauce, and then we're going to use some of this salt for our tomatoes. Alright, so I had some oregano, so that's what I'm going to use. I also have Italian seasoning, but I prefer oregano to that. So now I'm just going to Alright, so now I'm just going to make my sauce while the tomatoes are in the oven. And I always do my pasta first because it's always going to reheat once it gets into the sauce. So I just like to get out the way. So I'm just going to let this butter melt on medium. And then as soon as that gets melted, I will see. Alright, so now that my butter is melting on the stove, I'm just going to go ahead and get my cheese ready and grate it.
And then for this cheese, we're going to grate about 1 cup. So you want to make sure that you have enough to grate 1 cup. And a little goes a long way, so I only have a small bit left of this lot, but it will definitely make 1 cup.
Guys, so I have a good bit of cheese ready here. It's about 1 cup. Okay. And now I just have my shrimp thawing out in some cold water, and I'm about to get in the sauce. Alright, so now that my butter is melted, I'm going to add about a teaspoon of garlic in here. And I'm just going to season this butter up. You want to make sure that you wash your steps carefully to prevent burning the garlic, because that is disgusting and it would not taste good. So just want to season this up, I would say for like about a minute or two. Just get that garlic flavor real good into the butter. Okay, so now that garlic, I can smell it and I can tell it's real good in there. It's been about 2 minutes, and my heat is on a little lower than medium. I'm going to turn it up to about medium now because I just didn't want to burn the garlic. And I have a 16-ounce heavy whipping cream here. I'm going to go in and add this to that garlic butter. And then I'm just going to stir that in real well. add about 2 tablespoons. And this is going to give that extra creaminess. I would use cream cheese, but I don't have any at the moment. And it's okay if this sauce is not as thick. The cream cheese will make it thicker, but we're going to bake this, so it will thicken up. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and stir that in real well. And now I'm going to add that cheese in and stir that real well. Alright, you guys, so you should be able to tell, please excuse my son, but you should be able to tell that the sauce is ready when it's all melted really well and you're not picking up too much cheese. Alright, you can see on my list that there's barely any cheese coming up. So once that's all nice and melted in there, we're just going to put our lid on it, and we're going to turn it down just a tad to about like 4.5 to prevent burning. But we're gonna let this come to a simmer, and then we'll come back to that. I'm going to preheat my skillet to 6, about medium high, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to prepare my marinade for the shrimp. So for my marinade, this is what I'm going to use. It's going to be some garlic honey shrimp. So I have classic olive oil, once again. I have some honey, some garlic powder, onion powder, and some all-purpose seasoning. And then as well as some parsley. My marinade, I'm going to come back to this, and you see it has those nice bubbles there. I'm going to go ahead and cut this down to low, and you see that's like thick, it's sticking to the sides. That's how we know it's ready. I'm going to try to get as much of this cheese up as I possibly can. Alright, you guys, so now that my sauce has thickened up and cooked how it should, I'm just going to add about a half tablespoon of salt and a good bit of pepper. I like pepper. And then I'm going to add some fresh parsley. I know it's not chopped, but I'm trying to hurry. My son is cranky, I'm hungry, my man is hungry. So while I'm doing this, I already got I have my shrimp sitting in the marinade. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my basil pesto. You can find this in the sauce aisle for like spaghetti sauce and stuff at the grocery store. And I'm going to take like a good fat tablespoon of that, and I'm just going to add that in there. I might even take like a tablespoon and a half. So now I'm just going to mix this in real well. Alright, you guys, so I just took my tomatoes out of the oven, and the more well they're cooked, the better they're going to withstand when you mix them. So it doesn't hurt to leave them in there for a good bit. I think I left mine about 30 minutes. Now I'm just going to add in my pasta, and then I'm also going to add in my sauce. And so now I'm just going to mix this up real well. Log of fresh mozzarella slices, and I'm just going to spread these out evenly on top of the pasta. Alright, so I'm at pasta end on a medium shelf on the middle rack, and I'm just going to leave that in there for about 20 to 30 minutes. Just enough for that cheese to melt and for it to cook up together nicely.
Alright, you guys, so now I'm just going back to my preheated skillet and I put it down to medium, and I actually ended up adding some butter. This is going to be for the shrimp.
Now I'm going to lay mine down. I guess you could just dump them in, but I won't mind to have those nice brown lines. So I'm going to lay mine down. So this should take about 2 minutes on each side. You guys, so real quick, I'm just making some honey butter for the rolls. So I'm gonna put about, I would say about 3 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons, or like 1.5 of some honey. And then my trick for this is I just sit it on the stove when the oven's going especially in. And now what I'm going to do is, honestly, I know I said you have to cook the pasta for about 30 minutes, but you can just melt it on the top, especially if you're in a hurry. So since I know I'm going to be taking that out soon, I'm just going to add my rolls in there with it. See that? It might not close all the way. Okay, there it goes. Alright, so it's been about 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and flip these shrimp. So it's easier to spread and not just melting everywhere. So if you do melt it in the microwave, I wouldn't melt it completely. So my shrimp are done. I just kind of push them to the side that's not on the grill, and I'm just gonna throw the rest of these in here. Alright, so I just took this out of the oven. It was probably in there about 20 minutes, nice and melted. I'm gonna let this cool down while the shrimp finish up. Shrimp are finishing up on the other side. I just went ahead and mixed them all together and turned them up to like medium high so they can get nice and charred and cook out all that raw juice.
Alright, you guys, so we have our shrimp, our honey butter roll, and the basil pesto alfredo. I hope you enjoyed this cooking vlog with me, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.